Hi guys! I saw something recently that I really appreciated, and I was surprised to find pretty much nobody talking about it online, or at least there were no video essays on it or anything like that. So I guess maybe I should talk about it. Full Metal Panic is an anime that's been kind of forgotten over the years. When you do see it talked about online, you mostly see clips highlighting the series' campy humor and slapstick. If you just watched the first season and the following Fumofu spin-off, I can see why. These make the series appear very goofy, despite the military backdrop. This was my first impression too, so I wasn't expecting the series to do a dramatic nosedive into darker themes. Once we get to the second raid, while some of the campiness remains, we can already feel the tone change significantly, and by the final victory, Full Metal Panic has become almost unrecognizable. Now maybe some people will find this shift to be too jarring or think that the final season is more generic compared to the earlier seasons. But what I think it does beautifully is flesh out the character of Sergeant Sousuke Sagara and tell the story of a child who knows nothing but war and survival, and who eventually learns to be a man. The series takes us on a journey where this impossibly, comically stoic boy slowly becomes more and more human. Let's start with how Sousuke used to be a child soldier and assassin at the alarmingly young age of only 8 years old. Here in Afghanistan, young Sousuke, then called Kashim, learned how to fight, kill, and survive through anything from a group of guerrilla soldiers. From a very young age, Sousuke had the cold, unfeeling eyes of a killer. Fast forward 8 years to when the audience meets Sousuke, working as a mercenary for an organization called Mithril. He's made some friends here in Melissa, Tessa, and Kurtz, but he's definitely the weird one in the group. He's the only one who doesn't have any interests or any kind of life outside of military tech and fighting. He can't relax, he doesn't even know how to, and to top it all off, he knows absolutely nothing about normal civilian life. So this makes him almost the worst choice to go undercover as a Japanese high school student. But of course, that's how the story goes. The first season mostly focuses on Sousuke being a total fish out of water. He's a menace, a maniac. He regularly causes chaos at the school, all with the most well-meaning of intentions, to protect Kaname Chidori, a normal student with special abilities that make her a prime target for terrorists. Unfortunately, he can't tell the difference between genuine, life-threatening danger and just ordinary harassment. For just one example, when he and Kaname discover that a fellow student has been posting inappropriate photos of her on the internet, Kaname has to stop Sousuke from literally cutting the dude's fingers off because he believes this guy posted the photos to reveal her location to the enemy. Everyone and everything is a potential threat to Sousuke. It's funny at first, but we see glimpses of some serious PTSD symptoms here and there, and much more so as the series progresses. One of the first glimpses we get of Sousuke's weaknesses is how worn down he starts to become, partly from taking on too many assignments, too many battles, and partly from living in a constant state of fight or flight. Sousuke's belief that he and Kaname are constantly surrounded by threats 100% of the time gradually stops being funny and becomes genuinely sad to me, such as when he tries to sit through a professional haircut. He flinches every time the barber touches him, and he can't handle having his face covered with a towel because then he wouldn't be able to see someone trying to ambush him. Letting his guard down around strangers is physically impossible for him, which is why he unknowingly develops an attachment to Kaname. She's the only person he genuinely doesn't see as a threat, despite how much she loses her temper with him. She's the only one who can get him to relax, even just a little. So through protecting Kaname, Sousuke gets its first glimpse of something more than just being a soldier, and maybe something with more meaning. You see, Sousuke may be a strange guy, but no one can deny that he is an excellent soldier. He follows orders to the letter, even when it hurts him, such as having to kill his former comrade Zaid. The guy never says no, never questions anything, and while he blames himself for every soldier lost while fighting alongside them, he's always far too willing to throw his own life away. It isn't until he starts to become aware of the complicated feelings he has while around Kaname that he begins to question not his superiors, but himself. He's encouraged by Melissa to stop taking on too much and to decide what matters to him most. And he's puzzled by her story of how she ran away from her arranged marriage to join the Marines. Because Sousuke has never, not once, made a choice for himself. He's never asked himself what he wants in life. He's been content to balance military life with being a fake high school student, even if too much is being asked of him. But his whole sense of self comes crashing down around him when his undercover assignment is taken away. That refreshing bit of normalcy and that feeling of safety is gone. And without it, Sousuke starts to question everything. What was the point of fighting for so long, for always risking his life for so little reward, only to have the one thing he loved most, the one person who made him feel anything close to happy, taken away from him? Sousuke becomes distracted, he performs poorly, he sinks deep into depression because nothing seems to matter anymore. He even makes himself believe that his comrades would be better off without him, that he doesn't care about them, and in a surprising moment, he abandons them. He deserts the military and wanders the evacuated streets of Hong Kong, utterly lost. If he's not a good soldier anymore, then who is he? Sousuke's darkest moment happens when he's told by his nemesis Garon that he had Kaname killed. The audience of course knows that this was actually an unsuccessful attempt, but Sousuke, believing he now has nothing left in the world, kills Garon. For the first time he kills someone, not under orders, but simply because he wanted to. Now of course, Sousuke finds out Kaname's alive before too long, and she tells him to go back and help Mithril win the battle. He complies, but after the emotional torture he just went through, he can't ever go back to being the same soldier he was before. Sousuke no longer sees himself as Sergeant Sousuke the weapons specialist. He sees himself as a simple student and Kaname's friend. Sousuke knows that his comrades still need him to pilot the arbalest, and he will. But he also goes to his superiors and asks them to change his contract, allowing him to go to school with Kaname as well. Not in order to finish a mission, but because he likes going to school. And he wants to protect Kaname now just because he loves her. Sousuke is no longer a mindless war machine, which comes as a shock and a disappointment to some. But to Melissa, Kurtz, Tessa, and even the lieutenant commander, it's a huge relief. For the first time, they see that Sousuke is going to be alright. He has his own life now. Now that was a pretty good character arc, but it doesn't stop there. Fast forward a few months, and life takes a turn for the absolute worst. Sousuke's high school is disrupted forever when students are kidnapped and held hostage, and Mithril is all but wiped out by a new terrorist group called Amalgam. Sousuke and Kaname go on the run, and when Mithril's rescue squads are defeated, he does everything he can to protect her on his own. But when the arbalest is destroyed, the tables turn. Instead of Sousuke protecting Kaname like he's sworn to, he watches helplessly as Kaname sacrifices her freedom on the condition that Amalgam spares Sousuke's life. With Mithril currently inactive and Kaname who knows where, Sousuke takes everything into his own hands. He competes in illegal AS fights to get to the bottom of where Amalgam is, and when he finds a lead to one of them, the French Special Forces try to reason with him and even try to recruit him so he can help them stop the terrorists their way. Sousuke flat out refuses because he no longer takes orders from anyone. When questioned by a former Mithril soldier on why he should go after Amalgam alone, Sousuke just says something along the lines of, "You may be a mercenary, but I'm just a man." Now I'm not going to pretend that every decision Sousuke makes moving forward is the best or the right one, but his choices are his and his alone now. He's no longer tied down to anything. He's free. Free to love Kaname, free to risk his life on his own terms, no longer swallowing his conscience or his feelings. He decides who he kills, spares, or rescues. No longer a boy fighting to survive, and he's not a soldier waiting to be told what to do. He's just a man trying to live.